Hello and welcome to a new video here, the first video in the Sanskrit studying session here, Learn Sanskrit, and we will today we will do a rather short, just a simple introduction video here and talk a little bit about what this course is all about. So the basic focus of this course is that it is a vocabulary and basic grammar course. And by that I mean that we are going to focus on creating a good vocabulary, an extensive vocabulary, as you may also, I mean, you could do this in several ways. You can take books like the Sanskrit language by Maurer, or you could take the Sanskrit books by Goldman, or you could take the Sanskrit books by Deshpande, or Egenes self-studying course. But the three first ones, okay, maybe I can write this. I think the more like university textbooks that give you a good vocabulary would be, let's see, we would take the best one, I think, in my experience, is the Deshpande Sanskrit Primer. And in this book you will learn many words and a good grammar. There are of course many drawbacks with this book. It doesn't have an index at all, like with the grammatical topics and like that, so it's impossible to locate once you have if you're looking for something particular, if you're looking for some Sandhi rule or some whatever, so that's the drawback of Deshpande, but you will have a solid understanding of the grammar, and you will have a basic vocabulary of Sanskrit words. And this is one of the three university textbooks I recommend if you want to be more detailed oriented like that. Another book is the Goldman and Goldman, but I'll just write Goldman here. Devavani Praveshika. Okay, so I'm just writing intro Sanskrit here. Sanskrit intro. And then I'm writing Maurer here, and Sanskrit language. Alright, so these are the three ones I would recommend having on the shelf. The Goldman volume, has I would say would be more like a reference book, because it's the language he's using in that book, the English language, when describing all the grammar and all that, and how he's integrating Devanagari. I don't like that. So it's cumbersome in many ways. So it's not ideal as a textbook, but it's ideal as a sort of like a reference book. So you could use it as that. And then we can use the Maurer. This is a much more user-friendly textbook, because it has very good readings. So we can use it as well, not we, but if you want to have good textbooks, this is one of them. And especially the usage notes in this book is I don't think you can find anywhere else in any book, in any university textbook. So this is valuable because of this. And then we have not as a university textbook, but as a self-study Sanskrit. He has a 2-volume set called, I don't know, Sanskrit, I think. I don't have it. Well, I can look on my shelf. Let's see what it's called. Let's see what it's called. Okay. It's called Introduction to Intro to Sanskrit. Introduction to Sanskrit. Okay. So these are the 4 books. I'm sort of using these 4 books as a guide. I'm trying to gradually use the concepts that I find described in these books, and sort of merging them together, and that goes for the vocabulary as well. So my hope is that I'm going to take the vocabulary of these books and sort of mix it into my course here, so that you will you can easier use these books later also to sort of reconnect with Sanskrit, and you'll have more readings also there, so that you can use your vocabulary on those readings, and easier assimilate the other things. But of course there are differences between my approach and these approaches here, and one of the differences is that I think the main one is that I'm not going to use Sandhi in my course, because the focus in my course is vocabulary and basic grammar. So what I want to do is to simply skip the Sandhi rule, the hundreds or thousands of Sandhi rules. We don't want to do that in our course, because our course here on this channel here is hopefully going to be more fun, more simple, more straightforward, more speech oriented, you could say, or more practical. It's not about how should I say, impressing others with knowing the particular rules for how Sandhi is external and internal and all these details, but it's a way of actually being able to acquire Sanskrit by the words. Because what I see, or my experience, is that many students in Sanskrit are so discouraged by the whole Sandhi thing that they quit studying. It gets too problematic. It becomes too difficult or too complex, too irritating, because Sandhi actually has nothing to do with the words themselves. So my rationality here is that in order to use Sandhi, let's say that you're a reader and you're reading some Sanskrit from a book, and you know 1,000 Sanskrit rules or Sandhi rules. You know 1,000 Sandhi rules, but you hardly know any words. So if you hardly know any words, but you're expert at Sandhi, how will you be able to understand the text? So the prerequisite for reading Sanskrit is that you have to know all the words first, and then you can decipher what the text says in that book. But if you only know the Sandhi rules and you don't know enough words, then you can never understand it fully. Then you can never decipher it anyway, because you don't know. Maybe you don't know more than one of the two words or one of the three words that are connected together. So I think it's much more intuitive to first learn 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 Sanskrit words, and then we can see those words, even if they're already sandhied in the text. And if we don't see them, or if we can't decipher them anyway, then we can learn the rules, perhaps. So anyway, that's how I'm thinking, that we have to have a good vocabulary first. We have to know all the adjectives and adverbs and verbs and nouns and on, and all the forms and all on and on. And that takes a lot of effort. And also another point here is that Sandhi is mostly important when you are deciphering an already written text. And if you're reading some spiritual text or whatever you're reading, but what I'm also interested in here in this course is a more construction-based approach. So I want us to become better at creating Sanskrit. That we become our own writers of Sanskrit, and and if you become your own writer, you can decide if you want to use Sandhi or not. And I'm saying that in this course we're not doing Sandhi. So we're deciding that, okay, well, let's just skip Sandhi and just have fun with all the words and create sentences and do it nicely like that. And then we can, if we want, we can study Sandhi separately and become experts even at that. But I think it's nicer to just skip that for now. And of course, I'm having in my mind here, I'm having the idea that we could do a Sandhi separate course later, if there is interest, and if there is interest, you can just like write a comment, and if I get 50 comments like that, or 25 or 100, or then we can perhaps do it. Another thing here, which I'm going to do in this course, so I'm writing here now. Okay, so it's a vocabulary and grammar kind of course, and it is construction based, which means that of course you must be able to translate from Sanskrit to English. That's a given, but the idea here is that it's the other way around that is much more important in my view. That so starting from English, we have to be able to construct nice Sanskrit sentences, and that is the idea here. And when we can construct them, we can also read them, but it's the construction that is most important. So we have to actually talk, we have to actually write, and do that constructively. Okay, a third point here is that let's see if the third point here is that I'm going to have exercises here in every video where we do these translations, and from Sanskrit to English, and from English to Sanskrit, and I'm also, and the idea here with these is that I'm designing them so that you can just stop the video before I start with the solution, or I show the whole all the different exercises on one screen, and then I say now you can stop the video, and then you can copy down those on your own paper and write the answer before you watch my solution of them. Or if you want to watch the solution first, and then you can redo it yourself later on, or any way you want. But I think that's a good thing to do, because then I don't have to produce a separate document with the exercises separately and like that. So I can record a new video and spend my time on that to sort of increase the flow of these videos, and so that we can cover more material and like that. So all right, and then another here I forgot to mention here is the Devanagari, and this is of course, the script, the Sanskrit script, and one possibility was that I would record a separate course or a separate series of videos just for Devanagari, but I think that's not really necessary, and there are a couple of reasons for that. One reason is that there are so many other videos already on YouTube with Devanagari, so you can watch those. And so and of course, I mean I could do it myself also if you want it, but then you have to leave comment leave a comment below then. But otherwise, what I'm doing here now is that I'm integrating the Devanagari in the videos so that we can gradually, more naturally, we are learning the Devanagari sort of on the fly, so to speak. But just as with the Sandhi rules, there are so many variants of everything, especially like the conjunct consonants and all that. So it's still, there's still lots of material to cover in a separate course if that. But for now, I'm just doing it on the fly, as I said. Alright, so I think that basically everything here for the first lesson, and I'm hoping that you will enjoy the real lessons as they come up on internet or on YouTube, one after another. Okay, thanks for watching, and hope you're having a really good day. Bye bye.